Good morning, dear children. As our today's topic is chapter number 7, protecting plants and animals, and our main topics are interdependence of plants and animals. As you know, all living things in the world depend on each other. Human beings depend on plants for oxygen, food, clothing, medicines, etc. They also depend on animals for milk, meat, egg, etc. Animals help us in plowing our fields and pulling carts. Animals also depend on plants for their food. Plants also depend on human beings and animals for carbon dioxide. So there is interdependence of between the plants and animals. And the topic is also classification of animals. In classification of animals, animals depend on plants directly or indirectly for their food. We can divide animals into four categories according to their eating habits, or we can say the classification of the animals depend upon their four categories, and these are the herbivore. Herbivorous animals that eat only plants are known as herbivores. For example, cow, sheep, goat, elephant and deer. They are actually the primary consumers also because they use plants. Now the second category is carnivore. Animals that eat the flesh of other animals are known as carnivore. For example, lion, tiger, etc. Some birds are also carnivores like eagle, vulture and kite. And the third category is omnivore. As you know, animals that eat both plants and animals' flesh are known as omnivorous animals. For example, human beings, crow. The fourth category is decomposers. Decomposers feed on dead plants and animals. They decay dead matter and release nutrients in the environment which are absorbed by the plants. For example, bacteria, fungi, etc. Now carnivorous and omnivorous, because there is also the primary producers, the plants, and the primary consumers, as directly they are using plants. But carnivorous animals and omnivores are called as secondary consumers, as they eat other consumers. They both depend on plants indirectly for their food. For example, a tiger eats goat and goat eats plants for its survival. So indirectly the tiger is also dependent on plants. So the process of eating one organism by the other and getting eaten by another organism is called the food chain, as animals are also depend on plants for their shelter also. But as I have given example of a food chain, which is also our subtopic also, I will just give an example by showing you the picture of food chain, in which a grass is a producer, grasshopper is a primary consumer, frog is a secondary consumer, and snake a tertiary consumer, and finally eagle the final consumer. So this food chain from grass to grasshopper, frog, snake and ultimately to eagle. So by this we are just having these main topics, that is the interdependence of plants and animals, classification of animals, herbivore, carnivore, omnivore, decomposers, primary producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, food chain. So the food chain is the process of eating one organism by the other and getting eaten by another organism is called food chain.